You're always reinventing it. You're always trying to accommodate your surroundings. You're just trying to fit in. Like for me, I hated to be the standout person.
And you were able to take these moments of feeling awkward or insecure and channel them into what you do for a living.
Which is incredible. You feel alone. You feel like, am I the only one that goes through this? And then you realize you're not. And I think what I love about those moments is that they unite us all. It started as a natural extension of the businesses that I'd already started. So naturally, you know, I'm a writer, producer, and film and television has been the goal forever. And then even in doing a project like Insecure, I was constantly approached by labels to have a record deal. And I was like, oh, do they not watch the show? I'm not a good rapper. And that didn't interest me. And then someone was like, well, what if you had a label? And given that I was so heavy into the music supervision aspect of Insecure and learning along the way from the brilliant Kiera Lehman, who was our music supervisor, to me, and also given our work with discovering emerging talented writers and artists in general, I was like, oh, I would love to do that on the music side. And so having a music label and building a music company and a music supervision company via radio made so much sense. Something like ColorCreative came about just from my web to television model and wanting to replicate that. And it started off becoming a pilot program to discover new writers and produce their pilots for the cheap, get audiences excited about it, and then ultimately take it for a network. And then we were meeting all these writers and introducing them to managers and agents, and they would always come back to be like, hey, you got us these opportunities. I'm not really feeling my representation. And so we were like, we're doing so much of the work, let's build this out. And so many of the businesses that I have, brand and FET, which came about with the brand marketing, you know, right now it's so essential for creators to kind of take the reins of telling their own stories in the brand space. And so given that we were also already doing that, we just wanted to build that out as well. So they're all natural progressions of things that already exist, and then implementing the team members to make it possible. My biggest advice is just to tap into what makes you you. I think sometimes we try to adapt too much, especially to corporate culture, and so much of who you are and what makes you unique matters to your journey. Yes, and that was rewarding, because when I was like, I can't be the only one that thinks like this, that feels like this. And then to put it out and get, like, the first episode, the first day, people sending me letters like, girl, that's what I am, and I didn't know. And I think about it because someone told me when normally I don't tell people about the projects that I want to do, because I don't want to, some people have a tendency to be like, you should do this, or discourage you from doing it, right. And I would get in my own head. And I remember telling someone I was thinking about doing a project called Awkward Black Girl, and he was like, why you gotta put the black in it? You should just call it Awkward Girl. And I was like, but that's like the black part is what makes it special. Like, right. We don't get to be those characters. And I'm so glad that I did, because it's just, that is in and of itself an identity that we're not allowed to have, or we weren't previously allowed to have. People didn't know about it, so we came out the woodwork, we came out the closet. I've always wanted to be in a position where I could, like, fund my own projects and the projects of other people that I believe in. And so for us, like, that is a North Star, to just be able to have, you know, content funds. My ultimate goal is to have a studio, and it's just trying to build the building blocks to make that happen. Well, when I'm not shooting, my morning routine is, you know, wake up. I like to walk. I don't like to exercise. I'm a stereotypical black woman, and that's terrible. But I don't like the act of it.
But walking, you feel
walking, I love. I just like the serene, like to be able to gather my thoughts all day, and it's where I feel my most creative. I do. I mean, I came up not really having many mentors, like in terms of a blueprint for what I wanted to do, and I found that a lot of my peers became my mentors, my network of people, and since then it's been about coming up together. And now that I've found some success in my industry, then it's now about trying to open the doors for others to be able to follow in the path and provide a blueprint in some way. One of our other writers, Amy Anyobi, was talking about, like, I was listening to one of her interviews, and she was like, we have a tendency to try to, like, when we network up, and it really is about networking across, like, who's next to you, who's struggling, who's in the trenches with you, who's just as hungry as you are, and those are the people that you need to build with. It's not about, like, finding, hitting up, like, calling Tyler Perry, like, how can I work with you, calling Ava to be like, how can I be on? It's about calling your college mate. It's about calling your coworker and saying, hey, you trying to do this? I'm trying to do this project. And literally every project that I've done, every friend of mine has been in some way, shape, or form because I needed them, because they were just down. They didn't, they're not even part of the industry in many cases, just to help me make it work. And I would do the same for them in a heartbeat. It's just about, I guess, passion and hunger.